and governance, particularly in infrastructure development. Former federal lawmaker Senator Bode Olajimoke, who led a group of leaders from the northern senatorial district of Ondo State on a course of visits to the governor, hailed his performance, urging him to prioritize equitable distribution of development across the state and intensify efforts in tackling security challenges. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the protection of lives and property of inhabitants, said military personnel are being deployed to flash zones in the state to tackle recent security challenges. Government House correspondent Wahab Ampale provides more insight on the visit.
Former federal lawmaker Senator Bode Olajimoke led the delegation of leaders from the northern senatorial district of the state on a visit to Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa in Akure. The courtesy visit at the office of the governor was aimed at meeting minds with Governor Aiyedatiwa on how to further enhance the state's development. Senator Olajimoke, who applauded the strides of the Aiyedatiwa administration, particularly in infrastructure development, urged him to intensify efforts in tackling security challenges facing the state. The former lawmaker stressed the need for security trust fund through an executive bill and thanked the governor for the proposed conversion of Rufus Giwa Polytechnic Owo to University of Agriculture.
You have started this 4-year journey on a sure footing. You have clearly defined your priorities, namely the welfare of the citizens, the weak and vulnerable, the workforce, as well as the socio-economic repositioning of our dear state. Added to these are the numerous robust social and physical infrastructural programs and urban renewal in our various communities.
Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who emphasized that the protection of lives and property remains a priority of his administration, assured of even development across the state.
A lot is being done, not just with Amotekun alone, but with all the other security agencies. Just about a few weeks ago, we put a place at Auga, and about 150 military men have been deployed there. That is Nakoko North. We renovated a building for them so that they can have a place. 150 soldiers are currently there to tackle insecurity from that region, Akoko, Axis, and all that. The forest area, where they also have a portion that borders Ekiti and Edo, Ago, Oyinbo, where they have a caution about a month ago when we're having, they were attacking the community. As we speak now, we have a base there. And the military, there's a mountain in that place, under one rock, they normally hide to attack. They climb to be able to see our men. Anytime they are approaching, they begin to open fire on them. We have taken over that mountain and we have our We're also thinking of recruiting more hands, especially in the Amotekun Corps, so that we can increase the number. But all this brought down to increase expenditure at the end of the day. So we have to look at our budget very well, especially now that we have implemented minimum wage, which is consequential adjustment. It's been really tough, even though allocation has increased, the expenditure has increased with that minimum wage implementation. So these are issues we are battling with to manage our resources so that we don't leave huge debt for the state by the time we'll be completing our tenure at the time God will want us to live here. Setting up of a security trust fund so that we're able to have enough resources to procure equipment, technology to fight insecurity. I think it's a direction we'll look at really.
Highlighting the importance of traditional institutions, Governor Aiyedatiwa assured that royal fathers will always be carried along in his administration, acknowledging their roles in grassroots mobilization and development. The governor restated his dedication to prosper the state and the people through purposeful leadership. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Towards boosting food sufficiency and promoting agricultural development in the states, the present administration has called on farmers across the 18 local government areas to register in the ongoing open-ended farmers census. Addressing newsmen at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure, the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Aiyedatiwa on Agric and Agribusiness, Mr. Wemimo Akishola, said the registration is not just a formality but a means of having a database of farmers in the state. Akinshola commended the efforts of farmers in tackling food scarcity in the state, noting that Governor Aiyedatiwa had declared an executive order on agribusinesses as part of efforts to position the agricultural sector with land banking as a major focus. He also announced plans of governments to establish a tractor unit in each senatorial district to assist farmers during the planting season.
The farmers registration is ongoing. It's a continual exercise. We're not going to put time in it. We need to get all the farmers involved. We need to get them all registered. This is 2025. Our planning should be on a list with our registrations of farmers. These informations are very, very important for us to get away from this food security issue. The importance of this is because we need to know our farmers, we need to know where they farm, we need to know what they farm, and we need to be able to assist, and we need to be able to know them well and be able to assist them whenever it's needed. These are the reasons why this data and this information collection is very, very important. Most banks who are going to come to our aid, even the federal government, everything is digitalized out. If we don't have all this in place, we won't be able to actually tap in whatever is going on, which I regard in our agri sector. And with the new government, we have decided to look at the whole agri sector from the beginning and take it on. That's why His Excellency gave an executive order on agro-business. It is to help the state with designing the agri path in which the state will function. First, we're doing what they call land banking. This is to help us acquire more land to be able to get our farmers to use it instead of just running land at all. You can register on your phone, you can come to our office and register, you can go to your local government and register. This registration is very, very important. The state will know you as a farmer. This will help us to assist you. It will help us to take our data to federal government to actually give you assistance. We have not been getting anything tangible because we don't have this information. This information is very, very important. I cannot emphasize it anymore. That is why it is not closed. It is an open and end registration.
Of the SSA to Governor Aiyedatiwa on Agric and Agribusiness, Mr. Wemimo Akishola speaking there. Delta State's Governor, Sheriff Oborevuri, the immediate past Governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, and members of the People's Democratic Party in Delta State are defected to the All Progressives Congress. Manager stated that all the PDP members in the state, including the Governor, former Governor Okowa, the Speaker, the State Party Chairman, all the local government chairmen, among others, have agreed to move to the APC. The Delta State Commissioner for Information, Mr. Anagu Charles, officially confirmed the governor's defection and the collective decision of Delta PDP leaders and stakeholders to join the APC. And indications are emerging that suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara is warming up to making concessions to ease the political tension in the state. This followed Fubara's meeting with President Bola Tinubu in London during the president's 18-day retreat in Europe. The meeting, it was gathered, was at the request of Governor Fubara, who first came into office in May 2023. Although details of the meeting are still sketchy, reports say Fubara pledged to make certain concessions in a bid to ease tensions. A source privy to the meeting hinted that Fubara is weighing a switch from the opposition People's Democratic Party to the ruling APC to get on good side of the president. The Senate has berated the senior pastor and seven overseer of the Global Community Citadel Church, Pastor Tunde Bakare, over his recent scornful remarks about the 10th National Assembly, saying the cleric had crossed the line. The Senate's reaction was contained in a statement in Abuja by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Yemi Adaramudu. Bakare, during his Easter State of the Nation broadcast in Lagos, accused the president of reducing the 10th Assembly to an urban for legislative rascality and likened it to the 48th member of his cabinet, and also condemned the emergency rule declared in River State, criticizing the National Assembly for backing it. However, Adaramudu described Bakare's comments as sweeping and disparaging and politically motivated. He argued that while some may see tension between the legislature and executive as a healthy feature of checks and balances, such frictions does not necessarily translate to effective oversight. While acknowledging Bakare's constitutional right to voice opinions on national issues, the Senate spokesman maintained that the cleric had overstepped his bounds with what it termed aspersions and substantiated claims. Amid the rising spate of killings in Benue, Governor Saint Elia says what the people of the state need is a federal government support and not a declaration of a state of emergency. Governor Elia said that the insecurity in Benue is not too much for him to handle, but he needs the support of the federal government to tackle the crisis. He said that his administration has the capability to end the killings in the state, but he needs more support to drive killer others invading Benue communities out of the state. The governor dismissed the claim that the state security situation might be too much for him to handle, explaining that his administration has reduced the number of local government areas under attack from 17 to 6. In the meantime, as the dust raised by the continuing killings in Benue and Plateau State is yet to settle, Niger State Governor Umaru Bago has declared a dusk-to-dawn curfew in the capital, Minna, following incessant killings of people in the city. The governor also said the curfew could be extended to other local government areas of the state, identifying motorcycles, otherwise known as Okada, and tricycles as two major vehicles used by criminals to perpetrate their nefarious activities. The curfew came on a day 11 persons were killed by X-Men in fresh attacks in Benue State. On the curfew in Minna, Governor Bago made the declaration at a critical stakeholder security meeting with traditional title holders in Minna, Emirate, and heads of security agencies at Government House, Minna. He vowed to lead the operation to all nooks and crannies of Minna to flush out criminals who are in recent times embarked on a stabbing spree in the city and other parts of the state, but however exempted medical emergency operators from the ban, adding that the state are being taken to address growing security challenges in the state's capital. In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Kennedy Egetoku, has deployed a special squad to arrest the rising violence across the country. He ordered all police mobile force squadrons to maintain at least one fully equipped combat-ready unit on constant standby, effective immediately. He gave the directive during a meeting with squadron commanders in Abuja on Tuesday as bandits struck in Kwara, Benue, and Secretary State, killing 21 persons. In the past weeks, the attacks on helpless citizens have escalated, with increased attacks reported in Plateau, Benue, Enugu, and other parts of the country. Addressing his squadron commanders during the meeting, the IG stressed that the standby unit must be prepared to provide rapid support to state commands in times of crisis, high-risk operations, or emergency interventions. He also said squadrons will undergo size reviews and reorganization to boost efficiency and agility. You're still watching our Osrc News at 7. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for joining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV. Ondo. The rise in arms begging and the visible presence of mentally unstable individuals have reached an alarming level in Akure, the capital of the state. The issue has become more prominent and concerning raising safety, environmental and public health challenges across the city. To tackle the growing concern, the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Ministry of Environment are pledged to collaborate and implement lasting solutions aimed at restoring order and enhancing public safety in Akure. Osrc's Abidemi Akerotoye brings the reports.
Akure is currently grappling with a pressing social issue, the increasing number of destitute, including beggars and mentally unstable individuals. This situation poses not only a social and public safety concern, but also brings economic and environmental implications. A shop owner at Old Garage shared his frustrations, citing the impact of these individuals on the environment and their disruptive presence in the area.
As they did it like that, normally as a stand, they're supposed to feel and say something they now so we they collect them every day by the kata, everything. We don't get choice. And if we just as in address them, come out there, shift all those things, go say them, come out there, come my front here, come line up.
A resident, Samuel Aleke, also raised concern over the nuisance and occasional harassment by beggars and mentally unstable persons in the neighborhood.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan tí mo jẹ́ bí leader àwọn ọlọ́kadà ló gáràjì bí wàhálà àwọn tí máa ń pọ̀ ìgbà míì gan wọ́n máa ń kọ̀ sí hold up táwọn tó bá ń gbé máa jẹ́ sí gan kọjá ń gbà mí wọ́n tẹ̀ ti dá wàhálà alẹ̀ níbí báyìí níbi last month tó jẹ́ pé díẹ̀ ló kù kí mọ́tò pàkan nú wọn so gbogbo kíní yẹn ni mo believe bó yẹ kí ìjọba lè wá nǹkan ṣe sí kán tiẹ̀ kó wọn kúrò even though bó ṣe wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn gan olè lè ṣàṣàárín wọn kidnapper lè ṣàṣàárín wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ kán máa fi bójú kán máa fi ṣe gbogbo nǹkan ìlú dẹ̀ ti lé.
This concern was further reinforced by a disturbing incident during the filing of this report in which a beggar assaulted a cameraman on duty. To curb the menace, the Director, Social Welfare Services at the Ministry of Women Affairs, Adebayo Oyegunwa, highlighted some recent measures taken to reduce the number of destitute in Akure.
Wọ́n dá wàhálà alẹ̀ ẹ wo ilé tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìsìn báyìí nígbà tó jẹ́ pé èèyàn ń béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn kámẹ́rà wọn ó dẹ̀ dayọ̀ sójú ẹ̀.
You recollect within that period of October, November, we evacuated a lot of them. And by the time we did that, we later found out that they came back. And it's not as if the number of these vagrants are from Ondo State. You observe that we are within the circle, we are being circumvented or surrounded by some states like Ekiti. We have Edo, we have Osun, we have Lagos, and some other neighboring states. But at the time they evacuate their destitute, they will bring them to Ondo State.
Oyegunwa also pointed to some of the root causes fueling the increase, stating that tackling these underlying issues is key to sustainably reducing the number of destitute and enhancing public well-being.
Instead of rehabilitating them, but because of our professional concern, our zeal to work, we have decided to ensure that we rehabilitate those ones that were picked on the streets. But if you look at it, like we said, the number is growing in a geometrical form. It has been a major concern. We had management meeting on that, but we now feel that the best thing for us is that we will not relax. And I know that Mr. Governor will do that. It's a major issue, it's a regular that we have been doing. But there's no way we can totally eliminate them because it's one of the features of urbanization.
On his part, Administrative Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Olumide Kinga, emphasized the need for coordinated efforts among relevant agencies to clear areas where these individuals have settled and relocate them to safer, more humane environments.
We are collaborating with the Ondo State Waste Management Authority on how to make sure that that portion where they stay are properly taken care of. The collaboration with the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, we have to do with the process of rehabilitating this group of people or relocating them to a safer area. If we have to borrow the idea from Lagos, we may want to interview them and try to see whether we can relocate them to their states of origin.
With sustained efforts to address the root causes of this menace, the state government and community organizations aim to reduce the prevalence of begging and improve the quality of life for all residents.
And towards ensuring equal opportunity for the less privileged in society, a non-governmental organization known for impacting lives positively, Tomiwa Aregbesola Foundation, has empowered youth and widows in the state. 60 youth were drawn from 6 local government areas of the state and empowered with equipment to enhance their skills, while 50 widows benefited from kits and cash palliatives. Joy Pius reports that the initiative is in partnership with St. Gabriel's Skills Acquisition Empowerment Foundation.
The maiden edition of the Tomiwa Aregbesola Foundation provides 60 youths across 6 local government areas of Ondo State to benefit from the empowerment initiative put in place to encourage self-reliance among the youth population. Partnering the St. Gabriel Skill Acquisition and Empowerment Foundation, these graduates, having successfully trained on various skills for 2 years, will be empowered with equipment ranging from sewing machines, hair dryers, laptops, clippers, among many others, to enhance their productivity. In his keynote address, President of the Foundation, Tomiwa Aregbesola, said the initiative was born out of his desire to engender economic empowerment, capacity building, and social inclusion.
We felt it was important to partner with St. Gabriel's Foundation, who have already trained people. So what's the essence of training people with skills and they don't have the necessary equipment with which to work? So you've trained them, they need the skill, they need the equipment to work. So we felt instead of reinventing the wheel, let's partner with them and provide them this equipment. Essentially, we're just doing it to give people a fighting chance.
Founder, St. Gabriel Skill Acquisition Empowerment Foundation, Adebayo Ayodele, believes that right supports such as this will enable these young individuals harness their acquired skills.
We have trained and empowered many youth, young people, and we are committed to creating a better, brighter future for our youth.
The Deji of Akure, Aladetoyinbo Aladelusi, Chairman, Akure South Local Government, Benga Fashua, among other dignitaries who graced the occasion, thanked the foundations for their positive impact on society, urging the young graduates to leverage on the opportunity.
If we have people like Tomiwa, the society will be a better place today.
This is a very good thing. We encourage so many other Ondo and Akure indigenous to emulate this.
Also benefiting from the empowerment program are 50 widows who were gifted with cash support and fabrics.
I want to appreciate them, sincerely speaking. If you can cause this thing in the market, you know it's very good thing they've done for us. They have given us a step to move our head. I really appreciate them. God bless you and reward them.
I'm able to have another apprentice in order for them, if possible, for me to be in this shoe, to do more for them.
I will utilize it by making a very good use of it.
As plans intensifies to replicate the initiative across all the local government areas of Ondo State, well-meaning individuals were called upon to contribute positively in inspiring future generations. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, says polio transmission is still active in Nigeria, saying necessary measures are needed to stop the disease. This came as a total of 17 cases circulating pilovirus type 2 have been recorded so far this year. The Executive Director of the agency, Dr. Mui Aino, who stated this at the agency's first quarterly news conference in Abuja, said the number was as of April 10, 2024. The Nigerian Customs Service has shed light on the continued smuggling of petrol across the country's borders despite the elimination of fuel subsidies. According to the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adini, the practice remains attractive to smugglers due to the stark difference in fuel prices between Nigeria and its neighboring countries. During the service's first quarter performance briefing, Adini noted that despite the removal of the fuel subsidy, it is still profitable for smugglers to take fuel illegally from Nigeria. He further explained that although Nigeria has ended its subsidy regime, the relatively lower pump price still incents legal exportation of petrol to countries like Cameroon, Niger, and Benin Republic. And now to the foreign scene, India's security forces are searching for the government behind an attack on tourists in Panagam, Indian-administered Kashmir, that killed 26 people, all men, the deadliest such incident in decades in the disputed region. Federal Home Minister Amit Shah visited the area, placed a wreath on the coffins of the victims and met families of some of the dead. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who cut short a state visit to Saudi Arabia, decried the heinous acts and pledged that the attackers will be brought to justice. And that's the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that the Aiyedatiwa administration has been commended for its early strides in governance, particularly in infrastructure development. And from our federal lawmaker, Senator Bodil Lajumoke, led a group of leaders from the northern senatorial district of Ondo State on a concert visit to the governor, hailed his performance, urging him to prioritize equitable distribution of development across the state and intensify efforts in tackling security challenges. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening.
ayé lọ́jà ọ̀run ilé gbogbo ẹbí Ifálẹ́yẹ lẹ́kùnrẹ́ òye ní ń kéde àṣìkágbọ́ òkú ìyàwó ìyá wa màmá Ṣàbáyàn Rẹ̀mílẹ́kún Fálẹ́yẹ tó jáde láyé